We are officially live and welcome to Live Adriano right here. Every second Sunday, that's what we try to do. And we get to be live with your favorite personality. Let me just quickly lower the music right here. I know this is one of Weya's favorite songs. So we get to just incorporate everything about the person that we feature right here. So Live with Adriano is all about making sure that we get to allow this platform and also allow this platform to interact with our media personalities. And I think it is so pivotal that we now interact with Weya Kadandunge, who just finished, that is her first masterclass. So thank you so much to you joining us live. You can also ask Weya questions because this is what this platform is about, to really ask questions, engage, network, also just knock on Weya's doors and say, hey, how did you master all of this? So Weya Kadandunge is a media personality. She's also a TV personality. She's a marketing agent and also recently just finished her first masterclass. So please do join us, ask questions, interact, just really ask questions. I think this platform allows us to, really just interact with our media personality. So let me quickly invite Weya so that we can just quickly go. It's really about engaging and making sure that we get to amplify and for you to also just get acquainted with who Weya Kadandunge is. So let's wait for Weya. Good afternoon.
Hey,
How are you?
Adriano.
How are
I'm good.
you?
I'm good.
You look good. What does your t-shirt say?
Uh, Hashtag stronger.
Stronger. Stronger
Yeah.
together.
Mm-hmm,
How-
mm-hmm. I am good. It's been a good Sunday. The weather is together.
I just
Yay.
love this weather. But it's been like this since yesterday because yesterday I was just in bed. I opted not
Mm-hmm.
to go out. I did get a
Yeah.
few friends calling me saying,
Yeah.
listen, don't you want to grab a drink? But unfortunately, once I got home
Mhm.
and I saw the clouds and the rainbow, I was like, this is where I'll find my comfort.
Oh yeah, I love this kind of weather. Just to cuddle and just simply just be lazy.
Cuddle. Okay,
I
please
love
do
it.
tell us. Cuddle bit?
Mm,
We're not going to go into those.
No, I'm like, no, 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 no. I really don't mind because everybody knows, and y'all know. Like, yeah, dear future is still yet to appear in
Okay,
this
just
future
one.
that we're in right
It
now.
would be a
Yeah.
future to live. Or if you're live with us as well,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
We are
So it's
welcome
dear
to
future.
welcome to Live with Adriano. I'm so glad that you're here.
Hmm.
You're going to be sharing your knowledge and also your power. I think this platform is really all about learning, and I think everybody just needs to show some hearts and show some love because you just finished your first master class. I'm so
Hello.
excited for you. Well done. What was that experience like?
Um, I don't know if I have to put it in words, it will definitely fail, but I'm gonna, I don't know, it fails. It really, really does fail. So
Yeah.
let me just say, like, in everything that I experienced in planning the masterclass, and just everybody that signed up for the class, everybody that showed up for the class, and everything that
Yeah.
transpired at the class was everything God ordained.
Yeah.
Really, I'm not even lying. I'm not even putting a show on that because this is what happened is that it's almost like everything that I wanted to happen happened. Everything that I
Happened.
wanted
Yeah.
to happen happened. And everything that I wanted to be there and everybody to sort of experience, it
Mhm.
happened. So
Yeah.
it had nothing to
The
do with me. I'm
manifestation,
so
because I know
exactly.
you've been one long and you've been speaking about it. And this is such a
Mhm.
beautiful lesson learned because, like you say,
Yeah.
what you have said, what you've echoed, what you put out in the universe manifested, you know? But before
Hmm.
we get into
Hmm.
everything about who Weya Kadandunge is, because I think I don't think I know your household brand. I want to rewind first.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
here you get the call. I think it's about to
Hmm.
rain, but here you get the call that says, Weya Kadundunge, you'll be hosting the first Namibian Music Awards alongside Mufaro. What goes through body? This is the first time we're celebrating Namibian music on a platform, and you're
Yeah.
hosting it.
Yeah.
Tell us about that moment.
Well, it was definitely a big moment. That was back in
Mhm.
2011. That's when the
Yeah.
first Namas was posted. And
Mhm.
I think being entrusted with I love being part of the first, okay? So
Yeah.
you kind of sort of hold the bragging rights for the rest of what's to come after
Yeah. I was the
that.
first.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was scary. It was a bigger platform that I was exposed to.
Hmm.
And obviously the launch obviously was a media launch, which was then televised, and then the bigger event happened on the actual day when the event took place. But I think
Yeah.
in just always having wanted to stay hungry. It was like, okay, I have no idea what this entails. I have no idea to what extent this is going to stretch me as a presenter. But
Yeah.
hey, I'm here for it. I'm game for it. Let's do this. So it was really,
Yeah.
really, really, it was such do I say a full circle moment? As lack of a better phrasing, I would say a full circle
Yeah.
moment. Adriano,
I
you
love.
can also testify to it.
Yeah.
You went to so many auditions for the Namas until you got the call back. You know the feeling.
I know that. I know that feeling. Yeah.
Yeah,
And I like
yeah,
how you put it, the full circle. I'm a huge fan of the cartoon film The Lion King, and it talks about the circle of
yeah,
life and the
yeah,
manifestation. I think it's also because you've wanted this. It wasn't just, oh,
yeah,
where's getting the call, because prior to that you
yeah,
did radio as well.
yeah,
So
yeah,
tell us your radio career. You worked at Radio Energy 100 as well as
yeah,
99. If I may ask,
yeah.
which was your favorite station?
Ah, it's a bit unfair, Adriano, because I at both radio station and all the radio stations I've worked for, I
Mm.
had different experiences. Because
Mhm.
the brands speak and have a different brand experience.
Yeah.
So I know I will not compare. I've loved radio for all my life. And I will
Yeah.
always love radio. Always, always. It remains my first love. In every single interview I've ever had, radio
Yeah.
always remained my first love because
Yeah.
there is something powerful about radio that
Mm.
your voice is the one thing that carries everybody through that session that you have them on the time that you are granted on radio.
Yeah.
And that's why I love radio, because there is so much that happens, because maybe your voice is the only voice
Mm.
and gets to hear on that day, and what you say is so powerful and it carries a lot.
Exactly.
And that's why people say words are so powerful, because they can heal, they can celebrate, they love, they can do so much. So your
Exactly.
words are so
Yeah.
powerful. What you say every day, not just to yourself but to the people
Yeah.
that you encounter every day, is absolutely very
Mm.
powerful. That's why I'm glad that I was
Exactly.
granted all of the platforms that I have been
Mm.
granted, and especially the radio stations that I worked at. So no, I can't compare the
Yeah.
two brands. I can't say which one I had a good experience with, because
I know that's
the fact
unfair of me.
that it is, because the fact that I got a platform on each of them to voice, to for my voice to have a platform, I would definitely not compare. No,
Yeah, awesome.
wrong.
And and
Yeah.
and just having, like you said now, it's having a platform where you can echo your voice.
Hmm.
What has been one of your most pivotal moments on radio where it's you sit there and you're like, you know what? Whether it's money that I'm doing this for, whether it's not, but this is a moment I'm realizing that this is what I've been called to do. This is why I've been
Mm.
called to use my voice. What was that one moment? It can be an SMS that you got on air. It can be someone
Mm.
dropping your flowers, maybe future, What was that
I don't
moment?
like flowers.
Oh, you don't love flowers?
Nope.
Wow. Okay. Now I know. Now we know.
Now you know. Don't buy me flowers. My birthday's coming up. Don't buy me flowers. Please don't buy me
Okay.
flowers. Mhm.
But what was
But
that
coming back
pivotal
to
moment where you Yeah.
Your question, I think the one, it's not per se on radio, but I think
Mm.
radio started the brand and everything else came after, the hosting the live shows and everything else that has come with the Weya brand.
Yeah.
But I think I think it's getting the calls off air when people just say thank you for the good music, thank you for the good work that you're doing. I think the thank yous and just like the tap on the back, of like, thank you, because of you, I know that I can achieve half of the things that you
Yeah.
have achieved. All right.
Yeah.
A small Lynn, I'll answer your question now. I think the fact that when you have young upcoming aspiring radio presenters, MCs that say that, I listen to your show, I love the way
Yeah.
that, your playlist and the topics that you handle and stuff like that. I
Yeah.
think really, I feel like we, as much as we don't wake up and say, I need to have feedback from people for me to keep going. It's always
Absolutely.
nice to hear people, like, give you props for the work that you do. It's always, I'm like, nobody can
Exactly.
not tell me that they don't like props from people. So
Mm.
I think that the hearing the feedback and knowing that the hours that you put in the research, the interviews that you
Yeah.
get from the, because I'm like, Adriana, it's not easy to get people like agreeing on an interview and actually showing up for the interview. It's
Exactly.
not easy.
Yeah.
It's not.
No, no, I know.
So
And a lot of actors, I think, probably don't understand that, it's not just this thing of where you say, you know what, I want, hypothetically speaking, I want Gaza on my show. It doesn't
yeah,
just
yeah.
happen like that. You need to
Nope.
motivate why
Nope.
you want the show. And then the artists are like, but oh, I don't think Wea likes me because she never wanted me on her show. But you're like, but it
True.
doesn't fit with the theme and the content because people don't
Yeah.
realize that either than the social platforms that we're having now, content creators, and I respect all of those, but as radio personalities, we also need to create our own content that goes
True.
on it, and not just the
True.
playlist, but stay
Yeah.
at every hour, every 15 minutes. So it's quite imperative.
Very true.
Yeah.
So, yes, no, I can definitely agree with you. Big ups to everybody that's a content creator. Yo, guys, it's a lot of work. Huh? Yo,
Yeah.
it's a lot of work.
It's a full job.
Especially for YouTubers, guys. I have so much respect for YouTubers. The
Yeah.
consistency that you have to, keep up for you to get the X amount of hours for you to get monetized on YouTube. Guys, it's hectic. So
Yeah.
much respect for
Exactly.
content creators on YouTube, and as well as the people that are creating content on IGTV and just Instagram and social media
Absolutely.
overall. It takes a
Yeah.
lot, all right,
Do you
because
think we are there as a country?
we're getting there. We're getting there.
Mm.
I absolutely love, especially guys, the ladies in the media industry are showing the guys
Speaking
fling,
of,
if I have to say so
yeah,
myself.
bro.
I think I look at people like Shuna, I look at people like Maria, I look at people like Aina Razor, the sexiest of the sexy. The content that they're creating, the woven, I look at people like I have a friend of mine, Rose, that's also a YouTuber.
Yeah.
And really, like in terms of what we're doing as Namibians, we are slowly but surely getting there. And I love that we are being unapologetic about who we are and what we stand for.
Mm.
And this is who I am. And big ups to everybody that's currently content creators. Much respect. So much goes into it. But also, it boils down to what you want your brand to stand for, right? Where do you want your brand to
Exactly.
go? Because the brand must
Yeah.
have some sort of identity, because otherwise you'll be lost in the noise and everything. So I think if you find your focus in what you want to do as a brand, then you focus on that.
Mm.
No matter what is happening, just keep at it.
Mm.
This is what I want, and
Exactly.
I'm gonna get it
Mm.
as long as I put in the time. Invest in yourself, because nobody else is gonna do it. Nobody else is gonna
Mm.
cheer harder for yourself than
Mm.
yourself. On days when you don't, because you see that it might look nice and shiny on the outside,
Mm.
but the battles that you're constantly fighting within self and maybe the haters that are in your DM, or just generally people that are unhappy with themselves. I don't call them haters. I call them people that are unhappy with themselves, because there's something that is not nice with you, or something that's not all right with you, for you to go around and just spit negativity, right? Because there is already enough that we're dealing with the world than having people that have to, just angry people.
I hear
Why?
you. And I understand, because so many times people always see the glitz, the glamour, but deep down you're paddling there like this duck trying to just survive on top of water. And
Oh, yes.
but this is what you really took the words out of my mouth. It's the support. I think it comes back to, people not understanding the type of brand you're creating and where you're heading to. And many a times the sacrifice that you also have to do. What are some of those sacrifices that you had to do where? And let's take it hypothetically speaking in terms of an event. Let's say you need to, you're hosting the Namas, and the Namas is 2 weeks from now. What are some of those sacrifices that you had to go through?
Well, I think when you let's take the Namas. I think it's one, first and foremost, when you go on stage as a presenter, you got to know what you're doing, right? Because that's what the people are expecting from you. Give the people what they want, right?
Yeah.
Right? So now for you to ensure that you are giving the people what they want, is you need to know your stuff, right? And I think those are one of the lessons that I'd sort of shared with the people that attended my masterclass, is that preparation is key, and practice is of utmost importance, because on a live show, if something goes wrong, you can't freeze on national television, ladies and gentlemen. You cannot freeze, because the show okay, the show must continue, even if your zippers open there at the back, or the auto cue stops. The show must continue, and that has happened. And I remember the one show, the one I did with Bonang. Listen, the zip just went the other way. It happens.
Wow. Yeah.
So we just have to just do something before we had to go on stage. But the show had to continue. You have to remain poised, cool, calm, and collected, but the show must continue. So if anything at all, make sure that you are prepared. So that means that you need to obviously go through your script and know the running order of the show, know what is coming where. But also remember, with a live show, anything changes, even at the last minute, right? So even if you've gone through, the running order, they might just come and say, no, Gaza's not performing at this time. Gaza's performing there. Now we've got a new artist, so you got to check out this intro, move this, move there, move there. So you, as a presenter, you have got to be adaptable to the situation, right? You literally have to think on your feet. You have to stay prepared. You've got to be prepared. You've got to stay ready for anything that will come during that live show. Because then the artist might, when they continue and continue and continue, when they win, the artists, they're so excited and whatever, they forget that it's a live show, and live show are timed, right? So there's a certain time that we can be live on television. So everything has got to flow, keep going. If you have to cut the artist, unfortunately, you have to cut the artist. And also, besides the script, you yourself have to look the part, right? So depending on what the feel and what the theme is for that year, for the Namas, you have to deal with designers, hair, makeup, and shoes. So you have to look the part. And I've been blessed to really work with the very best in the industries, from the Synergy, Roberto Schultz, from Melissa Bolton, to Carrie, from Usuto Couture, and so many other great designers, the Hannah Angulas, who else? Who else did I work with? So many. Merino did my hair for the past couple of years at the Namas. So many, creatives that I've worked with to ensure that when I get on stage, I look the part. And in the sponsors that supported all of these live shows that I've done, it takes a lot. It takes a village to kind of sort of make you look the part that needs to be, part of the final production. Because remember, if you mess up, you are messing up the entire production.
Yeah,
right?
because
the
it's not exactly. Because now people would not say, "Oh, it's the brand that has messed up," or rather, where that has messed up. It's rather the brand, because you become
Mm-hmm.
the face of the brand that we're talking of here. And
Mm-hmm.
this is what I want to now get into, because you spoke of haters earlier on. You spoke about, I hate the word haters because,
Yeah,
like you
that's why I
say,
say also.
I think there's I would never say I've got haters. I would never say I've got naysayers. I think I've got people that needs healing. It's this thing of those with negative comments, or those that don't
Yeah.
have anything good to say. I always say those are people that need healing. So if you need healing, it's also okay to come to our platforms, uh,
Yes.
as long as you put some positive energy. And even if your energy is negative, it's okay.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm gonna fast forward this. 2017 happens. You get the call where you're hosting alongside Queen B Bonang Matema. Um, Despite the whole moment that's happening, the naysayers and
Mm-hmm.
the ones that need healing, hypothetically speaking, are here
Yeah.
saying, "Why is it where again? We've had where at the first. Why is it where again? What goes through your
Mm.
head?" And it is, I think, also a time where I think really proud and really be vulnerable, because I too get those at times during my acting space where everybody's like, "Oh, but why Adriano again?" Despite the fact
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
I've stayed in auditions, I've stayed in queues, I've
Mm.
had callbacks, second, third time callbacks. What goes through your head, and emotion as well, when people say deliberately on post on social media, "Why is it where again?" Because we go read the
Mm-hmm.
comments. "Oh, is it where again? Why do they say fresh people, but it's just where? What goes through your head?
Yeah. Well, Adriano, it is what do I say? Do I say hurtful? But I also
Mm-hmm.
don't. I, I'm sorry, but I'm a really never-minded person when it comes to social media hate, because I know what it has taken me to get me to where I am, and the sacrifices, like in terms of, when you host a show, at times a live show, a music show, you have to stay. You are the first to arrive, and you are the last one to leave. You stay there like for you have to deal at times with drunk artists, yes,
Mm.
and you have worked so hard to no, everybody in the industry knows, no secret. um, so you have to deal with all of these things, right? And now when you get to the point where you get the call and you're like, no, listen, this year we are what, and we want you to be the main host, but you're hosting alongside Bonang Mateba.
Yeah.
And then you get the social media comments. It's like, no, wada, and wada. I'm like, again, I switch myself off of that
Mm.
negativity, right? First and
Yeah.
foremost, I say, the reason why I was chosen for that particular moment in history, in the Namas moment, is that that's exactly what they needed, and I
Mm.
was ready for that moment, right? Had it be
Yeah.
somebody else, were they ready for the moment? That
Mm.
moment right there, I don't know. I don't know what your story is. I don't know where your journey is as a host, but I know I was ready for that moment. And that is what they needed
Yeah.
in that moment. So my
Yeah.
concentration when I got the call was that, listen, I am going to deliver me at my very best. And that's exactly what I gave them. That's exactly what I
Yeah. You're
gave
very
them.
brave.
And everybody that said that, why her, now came after the show. It's like, yes, her, yes, her. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
okay, where's the hate now? Like,
Where's
why?
the hate now?
Can we just love
Yeah.
each other?
Yeah.
Really? Because
And
it was,
it almost sitting there waiting for you to do something wrong in order to say, "This is exactly why I said not her.
why?
Why her?"
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because now, Adriana, it was a case of like, and they go, I think the funniest comment was like, why do you need her? Because I'm like, we've got talent right here in the country. And like, stop being two-faced. If you're gonna be
Mm.
one side, be that one side, because no, we're not about that. I'm not gonna, I don't intend to engage with negative, because when you bring with negative, that's right, Operi, I
Yeah.
will not at all. And never, like, guys, I don't know how to fight, so I don't engage in the fights. So
Exactly.
even if you start fighting me, it's okay. You'll
Yeah.
win. It have your fight moment. It's okay. I
I'll give
fight my
that moment
battles
to you.
in Yeah, no, I fight my battles with prayer. I say, like, you know what, God, this is your kids. Deal with them. Really.
Yeah.
Deal with them, heal them. But I
Mm.
say, everybody's prepared for every single moment, everything that comes within your space, all the opportunities, all the obstacles. We were
Yeah.
made and born for moment as this, as cliche as it might sound. Because if I
Yeah.
had gotten the opportunity earlier or later, I would not have been or performed the way I did on that day. And
Exactly.
I'm like, she's a queen in everything that she is because she's
Yeah.
earned the right.
Exactly.
She's everything. Because before when we because obviously there's rehearsals and all of this things that you go through before a live show, and she's everything a queen. I'm
Mm.
like, we had a lovely chat in terms of, you know, all the stuff that she's done and everything, all the experiences that she's had, and it was by far one of my best experiences. And
Yeah.
besides her, I'm like, I got to host alongside Max Mapunyane. He is such everything you see on his social media pages is that and
Yeah.
more. He is such a
It,
down to earth
you know,
person.
I was about to go into that because there's this part where I'm not sure if where Tyra Banks says, and it's I think one of Tyra Banks' favorite lines, where she says, "I was rooting for you, I was rooting for you, and I was rooting for you and Maps." Let me just put it out there. I'm still rooting for you and Maps because he's still
Guys,
single in the
y'all are
future, and
out
he
here
doesn't like, and he can buy you
matchmaking.
buns. He can buy you a lot of buns.
Mr. Buns out. Shout out
Yeah,
to Babs.
Mr. Bazard. Imagine.
Yeah,
And then
but like,
comes with the Oshikadu and you bring the Matangara. You know, it's a combination deadly. I'm just thinking,
wow.
you know? Yeah. We're putting it out in the
Yeah, that's a good question. Like, really, which way are you rooting with me and Maps? Like, which way? Which way?
it is 2 hours away and I'm yet I'm seeing white flags hanging. That's the type of routing we're talking about.
My goodnesses, marry me away.
Yeah.
Why don't you?
Yeah,
Wow.
I just had to laugh there. Oh my word. But yeah, it's since you're putting future out there. Let's talk about,
Mm,
you've got this hashtag, and I think the times that we're finding ourselves now, it's a lot about representation. Representation of black women, representation
sure.
of the girl child, representation
Mm,
on all spheres of life. And you've done that
yeah.
so beautifully, talking
Mm,
about black girl magic. Take us
mm,
through the hashtag because it's not just a hashtag. It's a movement. It's a reason. When you step into who you are as Weya, um,
mhm.
tell us about what does Black Girl Magic means to you.
I think, you know, when I saw the hashtag or the movement from watching a lot of BET,
Yeah,
what's the lady? I saw Beverly Knight. She's the creator of Black Girls Magic. I
yeah,
love everything that it represents because that is all that I would ever, if I one day when I have a little girl, I want her to never, ever, ever, ever be sorry for who she is or feel like
yeah.
her hair is too cruise or she's not like the right color to step into a certain meeting,
Mm,
invited to certain I don't know,
mm,
opportunities or whatever. It's a case of the girl from myself from Katutura is able to stand with Africa's
mm.
finest on a stage that thousands watched and see how possible it is. It is
Wow.
representation so important to that, like to say that why are we living in a world that says it's not okay to be yourself? Then who are you
Mm.
supposed to be if you're not yourself? So
Yourself. True.
I really believe that I love everything that we are about because we are magic. There is so much within us that if we all work together and not compete with each other, there is so much
Yeah.
more good that we can do together. Because and I love the series that we just had at church, which is called Stronger Together, because
Together. Yeah.
alone can do good, but together we can do so much. Like it's amazing what we can do together. So
Yeah.
I actually really love the Black Girl movement. I actually just a like something I'm planning within celebrating all Black girls' magic in all spheres, because everybody is worthy of being represented, because you are who you are, and do so unapologetically. Never apologize for who you are, because you know
Absolutely.
the struggles that you go through every single day to get you to where you want to go, and
Yeah.
the impact that you want to leave on this earth. Because
Yeah.
I always say, when I die today, what would
Mm,
people say about where? What has she
exactly.
done with the platforms that
Mm,
she's been granted with? What life has she impacted? And that's why I love the taking the girls to a matric farewell project that I do, because
yeah.
this is granting a young Black girl that is unable to go to, due to resources, due to financial situations that her family
Right.
is representing. I get my tribe to just give with it's the saying that I believe with so much, with everything that I am, is start with where you are with what you have right now. Because as soon as you start, Adriana, I kid you not, it's like provision is just waiting. You just need to start.
Coming.
That's it.
It's coming.
That's it.
It's
Coming
and,
in over.
absolutely in overflow. Absolutely. I love what Lisa Alice, a shout out to Lisa Alice, also just said representation can change and it can also save a life. A shout out to
It
Lisa
can.
Alice, to the Rodian,
Oh,
as well as to
yeah.
all also on our live, to you on our live as well. Please do ask
Yeah.
where any love to ask where. This is a platform for those that couldn't make it to a masterclass. This is the time you can also ask your questions right now. Where
You're more.
that's okay, right? Wink, wink.
No, that's very much okay. And Liza is one that, oh, Liza has such a beautiful heart. It's one of the beautiful humans that I've met through this industry. The work that she does with Song Night, it's amazing. The platforms, because I think that's the one thing that we really need to continue creating, is the platforms for people to showcase their talents. Adriano, even if it's just a class that can accommodate 10 people, just for
Right.
them to express themselves in terms of what it is that they would like to do or be, and just to learn from what you've learned, to experience what you've experienced.
Right.
I believe in sharing and in imparting knowledge to the next person is all
Yeah.
that we are, I think, created to do. Let's teach, let's share, because stinginess doesn't get you anywhere. Like, if you just keep
Exactly.
things to yourself, keep it here.
Yeah.
It gets you nowhere.
And less, it doesn't. And moreover, the fact that we're doing at church now, we're covering this influencer
Yeah,
platform. So,
yeah,
and you bring in leader now and bring in yourself as well. You have
yeah.
influenced a generation that can say, this is who I want to be, this is where I want to
Mm-hmm.
go, and this is what I want my journey to look like as well. Do you personally
Mm-hmm.
feel that we've got enough positive influences wanting to leave legacies behind? Influences that says, you know what? I want the next generation to walk into radio and call that their full-time job. I want people to
Mm-hmm.
walk into being a master of ceremony and let that be their full-time job. Let's talk about that. Do
Mm-hmm.
you think that there's enough? And maybe like Pastor said today, do we find too
Mm-hmm.
many people tweaking and, flashing it all? And that is where the youth is being drawn to. Let's call a spade a
Mm-hmm.
spade. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
Okay, so Adriana, I think again it boils down to individuals, right? We cannot say the
Mm,
industry is not X, Y, and Z if the individuals within the industry are not making the necessary changes to kind of sort of bring forth a positive change, right? So
right.
if the person is about twerking, that's who they are, and that to them
Mm,
that speaks of I guess the influence they want to leave.
right.
And I always say you don't need a life stage to impart knowledge or to make a change, even if
Mm,
it's just one person. You have done your
right.
job, ladies and gentlemen. You have
Right.
done your job in ensuring that that person, the impact that you've made. And again, I will revert back to, or to kind of sort of refer back to the project that I do, is that even if it's just that one girl that we grant that wish of taking her to the matric farewell, give her everything from head to toe, dress, car, the full experience. And if that is what she carries for the rest of her life, I've done my job, Adriano. I have given her an experience. I've given her an experience that says that I don't need to get something from you for me to give something to you. Just because you're alive and just because you've shared your story with me and I am able to, because of the platforms that I have, I can help you. You've done your job.
I just want to snap to you. Like
That's it. That's it. So the change that, please snap away. So the change that we want, we can talk about it all we want, but if we don't put action behind our words, it's just gonna be that words with no action. Really, no action. Is just that. Exactly. It's the saying that says that faith without action is dead.
Exactly.
Do not quantify your laziness in saying that God is not real or it's not going to happen for me because it has happened for you. No, get up and do the work. You just stop being lazy. You stop pointing fingers and say, no, it's always going to be Adriano that's going to get the role. It's always going to be who. Now, because you, Adriano Visagie, you have done the job. You've done the work. You've put in the sacrifice of learning your script. You have gone into character with every role that you have received. You are getting the recognition for the work that you have put in.
Yeah.
And you see it. We're seeing it. I'm like, hello, African award winner, what international film.
Make me want to hide right now.
Hello.
Okay, wait, I'm gonna press it. Yeah, thank you so much for saying that.
So I just say that if you put in the work, you'll get the results. Again, like I would say, no, Craig, please, you've done the work. Again, it's Sunday, so I'm gonna take it back to church. It's like when Pastor Mike says that if you plant an apple seeds, you won't get oranges.
Mango.
You get apple. Yeah. Exactly. So take those lessons. Like I'm planting. I want to be a great presenter. All right. So what is it that I need to invest in with self to get into that space? What are the opportunities? There is Base FM where you can go and volunteer. That's where I started. But KCR back then, like I just volunteered. Every day I went to the people I called in. Everybody knew me, right? Because I was so persistent. I'm like, I want this. I am hungry for this. I want this. And this is what I'm going to do. This is my plan, okay? And you tell your plan to your creator and say like, no, listen, I want to be recognized in Namibia first. I want to go African. And then I want to go international, right? Yeah. So I say it's no point you big outside and nobody knows you at home. What's the point? Take care of home first and then go beyond. So that's why I love that I have pushed myself beyond, because I'm like, I have not given a class to anybody, like stand in front of people and speak and share my experiences. So that's why I love that I pushed myself out of my boundary and actually hosted my masterclass. And again, I thank Standard Bank for according me in making that dream come true. Hashtag it can be. Thank you so much, because because then it accorded me that chance to actually diversifying your brand is also very important, because you can only do something so much for so long, and then you get to see yourself in another space. How can I grow? Where can I grow? Who do I need to connect to so that I can grow? Adriano, all too well, you know how important collaboration is.
Absolutely.
Just within the creative space, right? So if I know that I can speak well in front of people, and then there's somebody who, I don't know, maybe who can make really good designs and stuff like that, maybe we can collaborate on that. you an actor and maybe there's an actress that is good enough or that is, you know, upcoming. So let me shine
Right.
a light on her because then she can then sort of people can take notice of her. So I believe
Absolutely.
that we should in the space that we are in how the size that we are in the industry that we are, collaboration really, really will take us a long way.
Especially in the times that we're finding ourselves now. And I want to just send a
True.
quick shout out that is also to Odile, who's tuned in,
Hey.
Marshall, who just recently directed, that is the choreography of Butensis, as well as Lioness's new music video. Now, we've got a
Ooh.
message here from Howsep that says that
Mhm.
influencers in Namibia at most focuses on what they can do and so much on the ego and to be talked about
Mhm.
on social media. It's not necessarily about making a positive impact and of course
Yeah.
leaving a legacy, which we just touched base on now. And I want to
True.
maybe take one of these back to one of your followers that also said here, just read this here.
Mm.
It said,
Mhm.
please ask Rhea how she's been consistent in the industry for so long. Okay, and maybe if I need to add to that, how come you don't age?
Stop and
But
aging,
and
guys.
this is what we've just spoken about now, consistency. And maybe just because you spoken now so a little bit too much, I want to maybe
Yeah.
also just share a little personal journey. Having started at KCR, I've never, to date for the 10 years I've been in radio, had a demo. So when people are like, oh, so where's your demo? I know what it's like being in the industry. If you send a
Mm.
demo, where that demo is going to end up. It's going to end up on the other piles of all those demos and all those CDs that's being kept there. So your
Yeah.
persistency and wanting something so badly requires you to
Mhm.
sometimes have the faith that doesn't say, you know what, I'm planting a seed and I'm just sitting here in my house waiting for it to happen. No, that requires you to literally say, I've planted the seed. Now let me get into
Yeah.
my black and white suit, whether that suit is from 10 years ago or from 5, or my
Yeah.
matric suit, and go and look for a job and knock on the doors
Yep.
and say, you know what, here I am. I've never done radio. I'm willing to learn. And I think it starts
Mhm.
with those little conversations that I think we need to step into finding out who we are. And I think identity, who we are as a people, has sort of grasped a lot of youth and a lot of youngsters into finding their space in a bigger pool because they don't realize who they are as a people.
Mhm.
Yeah. Your thoughts on
Very
that?
true, Adriano. Identity
Mm.
is so true. My friend Operi, somewhere there on the live, she's got a live as well that she does monthly, Candid Talk with Operi,
Yeah.
and she's dealing with identity. It's so true when you know when you go out of your house, right? You need to know
Mm.
who Adriano Visagie is, because the world is gonna take, and you'll be left with nothing.
Yeah.
And if you don't know who you are, if you don't know why you are in the space that you are, and why you have been accorded the opportunities that you've been accorded, you lose yourself. Like you
Mm.
will lose yourself. You will let the stuff go to your head. You think it's all about you when it's not about you. Like literally,
Right.
get over yourself and do what you need to do. If I have to say so myself, really get over yourself because it's not
Right.
about you. It's not even about me, even really. It's about
Yeah.
like you know the comment that you just read. You know the people again. It boils down to the individual, right? So the person can be hired to influence a certain brand, do a certain thing, right? So they are
Yeah.
hired for that campaign. Maybe that's not who they are, but that is what the brand wants them to be. So if the
Mm.
individual wants you to see that side of theirs, then it's an individual's choice to collaborate with that certain brand. That's why
Right.
you'll never see me videos. I don't know how to twerk. I can't twerk, even if you paid me to twerk. Not about that. You'll
Yeah.
never see that on my social medias. No, I'm not saying I am perfect. No, I'm just
Mm.
saying that that's not what I align myself with. I would dance, I would have a
Mm.
good time when I'm at a party. But in terms of, I know the people that do twerking, that's who they are. I'm not judging, but I'm just saying that individuals and brands align themselves to things that speak to them and where they
Absolutely.
want their brand to be and
To be.
go and flow. So if the influences that they follow, that's what they sort of promote, so let it be who they are. And if you don't like it, unfollow,
Exactly.
unsubscribe.
Also,
This way
subscribe
I'm
to content that you want to see. Another question that we've got here from Erodian that says, who or what inspires you? Let me just rephrase that. Where, who, or what do you draw your inspiration from? That is what Erodian is asking.
That's a
Where do
good question. I think that's the same. So I got that question as well in my masterclass.
yeah.
And like, I couldn't.
It's hard to answer, right?
So they, usually there's that time when people, you would, come up with names and say who inspired you and stuff like that. But honestly, really, honestly, I think it's the foundation that my mother laid for me. That when I go out to the world, I know who I am. I know that I'm loved. I know that I am beautiful. I know that I've got a good heart. I know that I've got good intentions for the people that I surround myself with. And I have such a good, strong support system that, like, if somebody comes and tells me anything else that I am not accustomed to, it's not, they're lying. It's a lie.
Yeah.
You're lying. It's not the truth. Okay. So I've got a really, really strong support system. And the fact that one of the teachings also from church is that your environment is very important. So if you're constantly of people that are constantly like gossiping and talking about people's, guaranteed they are talking about you somewhere also in that space when you are not around, right? So the environments that I've surrounded myself with have been a really good impact in sort of inspiring me and wanting to help me level up. All right. And really, like, people see it on my social media. I love my church community because it has reminded me that the platforms that I have been granted with, again, Adriano, it's not about me. It's about what the person that has created me wants to do through me. Right. So for me to be able to do the things that he wants me to do is to avail myself. If I'm not available, then how is he gonna open the next door and the next door, the next door? Maybe the next door is for me to open an academy that teaches the next great set of great presenters in Namibia. Now, if I don't avail myself for him to do all of that, then how? Yeah. How? Right. It's gonna take work. It's gonna take sacrifices because it doesn't happen overnight. And that's what I was saying in my class. It's like, the 16 plus 20 years plus that I have in the industry, that is my overnight success. The 20 years is the overnight for me. So there is no such thing as an overnight sensation. When they mean overnight sensation is that you've got to put in the work, because I mean, like, look at yourself, Adriano. The roles that you play, you don't just wake up one night and then, I mean, like, the one role I forever be proud of you, that you've really, like, listen, within yourself is Kapana. I think Kapana will ultimately be your best. And Salute comes close. Salute does come close, but Kapana takes the Kapana. So I'm like, I'm like, what it takes for you to go into character and those things, it takes a lot, right? It's the same going on a stage, because I always say this, and I've always also said this to my peers in the industry, is that every time you get an opportunity, it's your audition for your next, because you never know who is in the audience. 10 times, 100 times, every time I got in the gig, it's from somebody who was in the audience and said that I want her to host our event, our next event. And that's how they start the story. Literally the call that I get. And listen, I was at who college, and I was who at, and I've been granted to, I've had the privilege and the honor to host, like, really big events, from the NAMA really being the biggest, and then also being able to host the regional sports awards for Southern Africa. Hello. And you had the Pasta Fulana, where you had both Delisha as well as Lisa Allers on. I watched it the other day. I was like, what? And for true. Those opportunities such as that, those ambassadorian deals that I've had and experienced, being able to also go to Botswana and do some stuff there with Knorr, the soup.
We've hosted
I also
that
did.
festival.
Yeah, so the campaign took us to Botswana, where we also worked with a couple of creatives there. So
Yeah.
it's been such opportunities, but then if you don't avail yourself to the person that has actually granted you life and breath, there is no way that all of this can happen. You need to acknowledge him because it's not about you.
You. True.
It's not
Where I
about
think that all in itself is the message for today. But I want you, because we've got 5 more minutes left, and maybe if whoever's still live now want to still pop where a
yeah.
question, this
Lynn,
underscore dinners.
Lynn had a question about gifts. I
Le-
love
yeah, what do you
sorry.
love?
I love receiving gifts. Okay, like I mentioned earlier, I don't like flowers. Not that I hate flowers, it's just that I don't know how to take care of them. Maybe if somebody's on the live and knows how to take care of flowers and can teach me how to, please do. I'm open. DM me, slide in my DM. You are more than welcome. I don't
Yeah.
like receiving flowers because this is my typical day is you wake up early, you do your, center yourself, do a little young workout and go to work. I leave my office around 5, 6 o'clock or just before 6, and I have training until about 7, and I get home about 7:30. So that's Monday to Friday. So where do I get time to take care of the flowers, sing to them, talk to them? I don't have time. Like that, my
Yeah.
schedule doesn't allow me to. So that's why I'm not a plant person. I'm not a flower person. So, no,
Right.
I love receiving gifts that speak to the things I love. And the one thing I really love is working out. I mean, like everybody knows that. I've shared my transformation on my
Should
social
we
media
buy you
page.
weight? Should we buy you
Buy me
weights?
weight. Buy me cute workout clothes, guys. My birthday is coming up. Hint, hint.
Oh my word.
Yes,
I love
things that speak to where I am now. I love receiving books.
that.
I love like spontaneous what you call it, little adventures. I love that as well. So if you want to call and say, let's go hiking, let's go running, at all of those things. That's what I'm about where I am right now. But flowers, no. Chocolates,
Yeah.
no. That's like default. You have not put thought to the idea and
It-
all of those things. So yeah.
yeah. That's
So
a minute.
yeah. So yes, I love receiving gifts.
Yeah. Well, so we're going to get into our last question, and this is just me
Yeah.
wanting to first and foremost just thank you so much for this live. Thank you so much for your time, taking out
Finally.
your Sunday. Finally, and I'm not saying that the platform is just for who's of who's, but it's really people that have done the work. It's really a platform for inspiring a next generation. It's inspiring whoever's live now.
Mhm.
When we started the live, it was also due to the pandemic and really looking at
True.
what are the creatives up to, what are
True.
we looking at, what they're busy with, and maybe for them to share that. And here you are, you
True.
just manifesting so much greatness, but also the ability to start taking faith and doing the work. I'm reading a book currently. It's called, sorry, let me just take this out. It's called The Fault in Our Stars.
Uh-huh.
There's a movie about it as well, which is really,
Mm-hmm.
really, really interesting. And I think
Mm-hmm.
this book has made me once again just appreciate life. So, to you, what is your last message to those that follow you, those black girl magic girls that says, you know
Mm-hmm.
what, I look up to Wea and I want to step into her footsteps. I want to be like Wea one day. I want to have, poisonous. I want to go on a coffee date with her. What is that message to that young girl child and boy child as well?
If you want a coffee, please make sure there's tea, there's cake. I'll say yes to that date.
Wow.
Sorry. I love food, okay? I love food. Yeah, that's the other thing. Like if you give me
Oh,
food as well, I'm on that. I'm on that tip, right? So
yeah.
I love food. I love any meeting that involves food, I'm there. I'm fully there. Okay. Guys, I'm a herrero, so I love food. I love meat. I'm not even unapologetic about that space. I love it. But really, Adriano, first and foremost, thank you so much for actually having this platform on yours. Thank you that you extended the invite. I really had a good time.
Thank you.
On the Sunday, I'm gonna go cook now for the week. Meal prep is
Okay.
very important, ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening.
Oh, you freeze
Yeah,
them and
for
give us a whole
yes,
tutorial on that.
yes. No, it's very important to go in the week ready, because then the week will throw whatever and maybe just also eat you up in the process. So I go in ready with my
Yeah,
food, with my workout clothes, and my to-do list for the day, for that specific day, for the week. What do I want to achieve? What do I want to
yeah,
put out in the week? But really, thank you for the opportunity. It's been really great. Thank you for everybody that has been really on the live. Much love to everybody. Thank you for the constant support over the years.
yeah,
Again, Adrian, if you put stuff out there and you don't get any feedback, it sort of kind of makes you feel some type of way. So the love
yeah.
and the feedback really has motivated myself on days when it feels like no, like Lester, I'm so over this. I just want to not do it anymore. Then again, it
Right.
goes back to the saying that I keep on saying that, listen, get over yourself, get over how you feel, and go do what you need to do,
Yeah.
because somebody's
Even if there's
counting
one
on you.
person, even if there's one person in the audience, right?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Because you woke up, because you showed up, then I
mm,
know it's possible. Like hashtag it can be, because with everything that we want, in everything that we want happen in our lives and wanted to manifest, we need to put in the work. There is no two stories about that. The body that you
right,
want is not going to happen from you just sipping on something or taking some. You need to do the work. You need
right.
to first and foremost find out who you are, what you
Mm,
are about, and stay true to that. It doesn't
right.
matter what anybody has to say about your space, and what it is that you're not doing. Concentrate on
Yeah.
what you are doing, because then
Mm,
if you if you keep on adding, the flower will bloom where it's
yeah,
watered. All right, the
yeah.
grass
Says the
is not
person that
green.
doesn't.
Yes, that also. Touche. So
Well, yeah, with
the
1 minute left.
yeah.
One
So
minute left.
the grass, yeah. So the grass will be greener where it's watered.
Being
That's what I
watered.
want to leave people with. It's not green on the other side. It's green where it's watered. So keep watering yourself. It will be a trial and error. Keep watering, keep watering, keep watering, and pray.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Wea. Bye bye.
Bye.
There you go. That's Wea Kadendinge who just joined us right here on our live. Thank you so much to Wea. And good to see this Netflix, and this beautiful flower is by Lisa Ellis. So thank you so much. I'm also wearing from my Bold collection. If you want to order this, make sure you head over. That is to MN Creations. Well, stay tuned as I will be dropping the next person that we will be going live with. So it might be your favorite personality. You can also inbox me. Let me know what type of content you'd love to hear on this platform as well. Once again, thank you so much to you who tuned in. It's all about inspiring a greater and bigger generation, because together we are stronger. From my side, Adriano,